Hi guys, karibu. This is Gachie Skyman TV. We are live. Good morning, those who are in United States. Good afternoon, or this is good evening. Those who are in Kenya, good evening. Those who are in Britain or United Kingdom, karibuni. This is your host, Gachie Skyman, the tallest man in back Africa. Please like the video. Once you join, register your presence. Here we welcome everybody. Karibuni. We are waiting for members to join. We are going to have a discussion that will take an hour or two. You can see now the number is increasing. We are 7. Please register your presence so that you can know ni nani ameingia. And it is good kwa sababu ni wakati ambapo tunaelekea kulala, lakini kabla kulala ni vizuri tusemezane. It is good we share one or two things here, because here is where we meet and discuss our country. We have a country that we love very much. We have a country that we share. We have a country that we strongly believe we have to talk a lot, and it is our country, whatever the case. So Martin, karibu na kuona uko ndani kabisa, kabisa. Please like the video, and the others, kindly guys, like the video, register your presence so that we can have a discussion together before you go to sleep. Ni mapema sana jameni, ni saa 4, ni saa 4. Evans Value Vulule present. Yeah, karibu Evans. Thank you very much. You can see the number is increasing. We are now 14. I want us to discuss how Raila has managed to distance himself completely from William Samoei Ruto. Don't mind about the dogs. You see, when you have to, when you are a man, there's some things that are like, there's some animals that are like to surround you. So that is some dogs that are barking from outside. But that's not the issue here. The issue here is that when you look at Raila Amolo Odinga, he has managed completely to distance himself from William Samoei Ruto. Irene Kioi, he niko ndani. Asante sana Irene, karibu. We can see the number is increasing. We are 16. How I wish we can hit 100 before you go to sleep. So what we are saying here is that when you look at William Samoei Ruto, he has been completely isolated by Raila Amolo Odinga. Raila Amolo Odinga amemwacha kabisa. And you see, hapo beleni tulikuwa tunaona ya kwamba nikana kwamba walikuwa wanafanya kazi pamoja, nikana kwamba walikuwa wanashirikiana. But of late, we have seen Raila Amolo Odinga distancing himself from William Samoei Ruto. In fact, today, he gave a hard-hitting statement. And he talked about it. And it's one of the issues that we are going to discuss. Again, you remember, kuna wakati ambapo, I think on Monday, he was able to stop the sale of our parasitos. KICC, remember the Kenya Seeds Company. So Raila, ukiangalia vizuri sana, ameamua kutofanya kazi au kutoshirikiana kwa njia yote ile na William Samoei Ruto. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Because from where I sit, ukitazama vizuri sana, utaona kwamba Raila amejiteka kabisa na mipango yote ya William Samoei Ruto. Kabisa, hata bila kuambiwa na mtu yeyote. But it is also important to look at the reasons why. Why do you think Raila has distanced himself from William Samoei Ruto? Unaona ni kwa nini wewe, kulingana pale ulipo? Martin, why do you think Raila has changed tactic and has decided to distance himself from William Samoei Ruto? And maybe Evans and Irene, maybe you can suggest, because according to me, Raila Amolo Odinga is very much deliberate this time. Is very much deliberate. Kwa hivyo ukiangalia utaona kwamba hataki kufanya kazi kwa vyovyote vile na William Samoei Ruto. And even that report of the bipartisan talk, ukiangalia vizuri sana utaona kwamba Raila Amolo Odinga hajayuga mkono hata kidogo. The first thing in my view, if you ask me, when you look at Raila Amolo Odinga, he seems to have learned the lesson. You know, unajua vizuri sana, he was forced to carry the burden of Jubilee, akabebeshwa mzigo mzito sana wa Jubilee, mnakumbuka vizuri sana. And now when it came to the elections, Raila was forced, all the blame were directed to Raila Amolo Odinga. Wrongly, if you ask me, because Raila Amolo Odinga, although there was a handshake, utaona kwamba sio kwamba yeye anafaa kulaumiwa. Ya G present, karibu sana, karibu. Thank you for always being with us. Na tunashukuru, we don't take it for granted. Karibu sana. So what we are saying is that ukitazama vizuri sana utaona kwamba kama vile Evans anavyosema, handshake costed Raila too much. Once beaten, twice shy. Yeah, thank you, Evans. That is one of the reasons why I also believe that Raila has deliberately decided not to work with William Samoei Ruto. And when you look at Raila Amolo Odinga, he is coming out in a very bold way. In fact, today we were watching Raila Amolo Odinga with a group of men, and the guys were asking, where does this man get this energy from? Another guy said, Raila does not age. Anakaa tu mtu ambaye when you look at him you might think he's in his mid 60s, because the man is becoming very, very energetic. So it was something that we were discussing. So when you look at Raila Amolo Odinga, utaona kwamba he is coming out very, very strongly, and he is changing the tactics, and William Samoei Ruto is in trouble, if you ask me. Because if you look at the way things are going now, ukiangalia vizuri sana, for those of you who watched parliamentary proceedings yesterday, mliona vile ambavyo the senator wa Matika from Nyeri, the way he was able to attack William Samoei Ruto. He really attacked William Samoei Ruto. Now, if the trend continues, I think, unajua, one of the reasons that made Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta to work with Raila Amolo Odinga is the fear of William Samoei Ruto. In fact, were it not for Raila Amolo Odinga, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta could not have finished his first term. He could have been impeached in the morning. But Raila Amolo Odinga protected him for the stability of this nation. So sio kwamba ati alienda pale kimakosa, alikuwa wala jamaa walikuwa najua vile ambavyo walikuwa nafanya. In fact, were it not for Raila Amolo Odinga, William Samoei Ruto could have impeached Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So this time round may look different, kwa sababu sasa if Gachagua differs with William Samoei Ruto, do you think Raila Amolo Odinga is going to come and defend him? Nafikiri atakuja pale atimwambie sasa tuko pale tutakuja kusaidia. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Do you think Raila can step in to save William Samoei Ruto in case of impeachment? Kwa sababu kutokana na vile ambavyo mambo yanaendelea, ukitazama vizuri sana utaona kwamba there is a likelihood that William Samoei Ruto could easily be impeached, very easily. Kwa sababu vile vile you also had Mandago. Angalia vile ambavyo alikuwa nasema kule, they were complaining. So when you hear even people from William Samoei Ruto's backyard complaining, then it tells you there's a problem. Guys, please like the video, comment, let us interact through this comment section as we prepare to go to bed. We shall be here for about the next 30 minutes. We shall be done. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this issue? Because when you look at Raila Amolo Odinga, he seems to be playing the card in a very different way. He has changed the tactics. He has completely changed the tactics. Unaona hapo beleni, when the bipartisan talks was going on, alikuwa amenyamaza kabisa. Even is telling us, Irene Kioi is telling us, hataki kuchafuliwa na Ruto, juu Ruto ni kama amekuwa mwenda wazimu. His character are worrying and not normal. Many people are worried, by the way. I think what Irene is telling us is that these days we have seen William Samoei Ruto taking some actions that are leaving people with many questions. Watu wanaachwa na maswali mengi, wanaachwa na maswali chungu nzima from the way William Samoei Ruto has been doing. So when you look at Raila Amolo Odinga is distancing himself completely kwa sababu hataki kupakwa matope na serikali ya William Samoei Ruto. Unajua Raila ni mweupe kama pembe, sio pembe, paba. He is as white as cotton or snow. Hivyo ndivyo ilivyo. So if he works with William Samoei Ruto, he will be tainted, and people will not see the difference between him and the former regime, the way he interacted with the former regime. So it is good that he distanced himself completely from William Samoei Ruto for his own political future. I also think that just like Ivan is saying, Gachie, truth should be told. Uhuru was focused than the present leadership. It is true. That is true. That we cannot deny that one. There's no dispute about that. Evans, this government is unpredictable. You can't tell where we are headed to. It is true. Unaona, ni kweli. Mara unaona hawa like now, yesterday we saw Dede Nyoro on national TV trying to defend the CAS, the chief administrative secretary, telling us kuna pesa za kuajiri. And then you find the same government ukienda kwa CS treasury, naye anatuambia kwamba hakuna pesa, the government is broke. So tutaamini nani jameni? See the confusion in this government. A lot of confusion. Yeah, those are the dogs that are barking, guys. Bear with me because you know it is at night, and we have to continue because lazima majibu yafanye kazi yake. So kile ambacho tunasema ni kwamba there's something I tend to think about Raila Amolo Odinga. When you look at Raila Amolo Odinga, he look like he is preparing to run for the presidency in 2027. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Because when you look at it, you see hapo beleni alikuwa amenyamaza, although there were bipartisan talks that was going on at Bomas. Lakini sasa Raila ameamua mara moja, na sasa he is facing William Samoei Ruto heads on, bila kujali. Na ukitazama vizuri sana utaona kwamba he is hitting below the belt. Look at the way he went to court and stopped the sale of paracetos. Najua watu walikuwa wanasema haongei. Wakati anaongea anatetemesha. Look again his today's statement, which I think is our next item here. Jobs abroad. You know, William Samoei Ruto has been telling. In fact, he told Kenyans in Gilgil today, when he was presiding over the pass-out parade of the National Youth Service, that 10 countries have promised him jobs. In fact, he said that he is concluding with Saudi Arabia and Germany and 8 other countries, that after the conclusion of the agreement and whatever they are discussing, Kenyans will go to work in those countries. And the number is huge. So the question that we are asking here, Irene Kyo is saying, according to my opinion, Kenya made a great historical mistake. Have Ruto as their leader. I think people have been disappointed, Irene, very much disappointed by William Samoei Ruto. And because they have been very much disappointed, that is why you see people having a lot of pain. People are very bitter. People are hurting. Because William Samoei Ruto, by the way, for those of you who have never known, there was a time, I think when William Samoei Ruto was the CS, that time when he was Minister for Education, he was rated as the best performing minister. And then you wonder, is it true? Is this the same person? who was cited as the best performing minister in Kibaki's government. I don't know, but that is what happened during that time. So what we are saying here, that ati Wakenya naenda kufanya kazi abroad, 10 countries. And if you look at Saudi Arabia, in fact, for those of you who have been with me, there's a case that we have been following about a lady who is hospitalized in Saudi Arabia, in a place called Riyadh, something like that. Hospitalized, hana pesa, Mwarabu anamchukua, alikuwa amemwajiri. The lady comes from Murang'a. Mwarabu anamwajiri. Wakati the lady collapsed, Mwarabu anamchukua, anaita Uber, and then the lady who was a house girl is dumped in a private hospital. So the bills and whatnot, pale zote, I think in wiki, is it the third week? I think the second week. It could be the 10th or 11th day. And when I told people to raise money here, people contributed, I think 11,000. We forwarded the money to the family. In fact, I was added in the WhatsApp group. And so when William Samoei Ruto is saying that he's taking people to Saudi Arabia, Emmanuel Mwagi is saying he is justified to run. People have no excuse not to reward him. It is true. Raila has all the right to vie for the presidency. And in fact, we would vote for him if he vies unapologetically. So hii mambo ya kupeleka watu kule Saudi Arabia. And I'm telling you, like, we have a case that we are addressing now. And there's even a Harabi that's being proposed somewhere in Nairobi. I have been invited. So when I heard William Samoei Ruto saying that he is going to take our young men and women to Saudi Arabia, unafikiri wanaenda kufanya kazi gani? Because if you ask me, mostly Saudi Arabia, Mwarabu anamchukua Mwafrika like a slave. Mwarabu is just a slave dealer. So for those of you who go and work there, it is not the best place to go. Saudi Arabia is not the best place to go, kwa sababu if you ask me, majority of the house girls who works there earn between 20 to 30,000. 20, 27, 30,000, around there. And is this the kind of money that should make you leave Kenya and go and work there? And you work like a slave. And just like Raila Amolo Odinga was asking, why can't William Samoei Ruto create jobs in Kenya? Mbona tusiwe na kazi hapa nchini Kenya? Mbona kazi ziwe why export our labor? Are we that desperate that we have failed to attract investors to come and invest in our country? Why, ladies and gentlemen? Sasa niulize, for those of you who are joining, please feel free. You are welcome, most welcome. Like this video as you join, and please let us interact with the comment section, because it is here that we interact on one, and we share many things, and we are able to discuss various issues. So he told Kenyans, William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, told Kenyans that Kenya will send workers to 10 countries. And he only mentioned Saudi Arabia and Germany. And the big question here is, when Saudi Arabia wanaenda kufanya kazi gani? According to you, which jobs are in Saudi Arabia, other than those of domestic workers, where you find Kenyans being mistreated, where you find, in fact, not one person has gone there alive only to receive the casket at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. I think if statistics were to be carried out, one thing would be very clear, that there are so many girls who go to Saudi Arabia and they come home to be buried. They return as dead bodies. Wanarudi, badala ya kurudi kwa wazazi wao au kwa jamaa zao, wanarudi wakiwa wageni wa maiti. Kwa sababu Mwarabu akiona unaugua sana, atakuharibu, atakumalizia. Akiona you cannot, instead of rushing you to the hospital, like that case I was talking about here, huo msichana ambaye anaugua Saudi Arabia, Mwarabu anaita Uber na mchukua all the way to hospital, private hospital, and then the bills accumulate. Alafu sasa watu wanaanza kuchaga. These are the kind of jobs that you find in Saudi Arabia. And I think Qatar could also be there. Qatar, unaweza pata watu wanaenda pale. Qatar, by the way, is a bit better than Saudi Arabia. It's a bit better. Kwa sababu pale, for those of you who works in Qatar, and because I know there are some members here who are fans of this channel, and they work in Qatar, we have not had problems in Qatar. We have not had. But in Saudi Arabia, there are problems. Because I know if William Samoei Ruto, take people to Qatar, most of them are likely to go and work like now watchmen, drivers, and other unskilled laborers. Wengine kama kazi za mijengo hivi. But the big question, like Raila Amolo Odinga was asking, why not attract investors in Kenya? Why can't we create jobs in Kenya? Has Kenya Kwanza despaired? Is Kenya Kwanza telling Kenyans that they are unable to create jobs in Kenya? That is the question that we are asking here. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Do you think it is a good thing to send people to go and work abroad? Or is it better to create jobs here? Okay, there are some countries, I strongly believe, offers good jobs and good salaries. A country like United States, whereby you find there is a minimum wage per hour. Maybe you find something like $15 to $20, which would translate to 1,500 to 2,000. Some even going as high as 3,000. America is a lot of opportunities. So for those if you'll be lucky to get chances for Kenyans to go and work in America, that is better. And even in Germany. But a friend of mine was telling me at Germany hakuna kitu kama hicho. Was telling me at Germany hakuna kazi, hakuna ni uongo. And you see, William Samoei Ruto has been telling us that Germany want 200,000 workers from Kenya. But people on the ground walikuwa na, in fact, there were two guys. Mmoja alikuwa ananiuliza, sasa sisi tuko hapa Germany, sisi tunateseka, alafu unatuambia ati kuna kazi ziko wapi? Mbona ziza tuzioni? So Raila Amolo Odinga came out today very strongly, and people are very happy because one thing about Raila Amolo Odinga is a nationalist. Raila Amolo Odinga will always tell us as it is. Kuna jambo ambalo anaficha. Alikuwa anauliza, bona tusitengeneze nchi yetu? We make our country prosper. We create jobs. We can do it. And by the way, one very interesting thing that many people have never noted. This country had an economic council during Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's time. But during Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's time, the economic council was not as active as during that time of Kibaki. Kibaki was surrounded by economic advisors. People who are very bright. People had a lot of interest for this country. So, when you look at William Samoei Ruto is surrounded by David D. and wengine hapo wawili watatu. Guys who are very arrogant, by the way, from all angles. What do you think of David D, by the way? Because according to me, David D is brutally honest, but very, I don't know, very arrogant, if you ask me. Because the other day he was telling us that people get the kind of leader they deserve. That was sarcasm, if you ask me. And again, David D, ukiangalia vizuri sana, he is not delivering. So these are the kind of people who surround William Samoei Ruto. I have no problem with David D and those people who surround William Samoei Ruto, if at all they deliver. But they have not been able to deliver. They have not been able to deliver kwa sababu tuko pale tunagojea tukitarajia that mambo yatabadilika. Mambo yabadiliki. For those of you who are joining, please like this video, comment. What do you think about David D? What do you think about William Samoei Ruto? Because according to me, William Samoei Ruto is not getting the correct advice as far as economy is concerned. And when you look at it, with all due respect to the president, you realize one thing. He tells us that he has fixed the economy. In fact, he tells us he has fixed the economy. Then his CS treasury, the following day, comes and tells us that the country is broke. You can see the contradiction now. It's a situation where the right hand does not know what the left hand is doing. So this one tells you that William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, seems not to be either getting the right advice, or if he's getting the right advice, he's ignoring the advice. But when I look at these guys who surround him, and I'm just pointing at David D. David D is the one who came up with the bottom-up economic model. He's the one who came up with this. And it seems not to be working. In fact, if you ask the CS in William Samoei Ruto's cabinet, they don't know what is bottom-up. What is it? So Stephen Karibu, David D has never worked anywhere apart from the theories he tries to talk about. Yeah, in fact, he's a theorist. Most of the things that he says cannot add up. And I think, I don't know whether he was there during Kibaki's time. Was he there? I think he was somewhere and he was fired, if I'm not wrong. I start to be corrected. I also think kuna wakati alikuwa, is it Rwanda? I don't know what happened there in Rwanda. But when you look at him, as Odhiambo is telling us, most of the things that he's telling us, they are just theories. Theories that don't add up. Theories that can't hold. So when you look at William Samoei Ruto, he is not surrounded by people who can advise him. And one thing that I have noted about William Samoei Ruto, I don't know whether you have noted this guys, that William Samoei Ruto ako pale, but he doesn't like people who are competent. He doesn't like working with people who excel. He doesn't. When you look at the people who are surrounding him, majority of them are greenhorns. They are greenhorns. People, you know, if he may ask you, why can't he work with somebody, say Miguna, or Mukisa Kitui, or John Githogo? Why can't he work with such people? Why should he work with people who don't have the know-how? Because as he told us the other day, his team is clueless. Alituambia kwamba his team is clueless. That some of them do not even know what is happening in their ministries. And this is deliberate. It has been designed to work like this. So, ladies and gentlemen, why do you think William Samoei Ruto does not like working with a competent team? The cabinet and even the principal secretaries. Why do you think? Because according to me, this is meant to achieve something. Like now, when you look at Kibaki and Kenyatta and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, these guys had competent cabinets. Isaac Mushura Skyman, keep it up, always truthful and to the mark. Thank you, Isaac. Karibu, like the video. So guys, why do you think William Samoei Ruto does not like working with guys who, a team that is very competent? He doesn't. He likes working with the greenhorns. As far as I'm concerned, all what matters to him is loyalty. Loyalty and loyalty, not meritocracy. Merit comes second. And by the way, do you know that in William Samoei Ruto's cabinet, wanasema that Moses Kuria is the most intelligent person. Is the most brilliant. Do you think it's the case? Because, okay, somehow, I'm not underrating, and I cannot underrate Moses Kuria, the way he played with people's minds, and the way he's able to survive and come out unhurt. But look at the way he has been playing with Gachagua, heavy, and then look at the way he was able to play with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and then survived in William Samoei Ruto's cabinet. But do you think that is the most intelligent person that William Samoei Ruto could have gotten in this country? In fact, when I saw him, James Orengo, in India, I told a friend of mine that I think he's getting the right advice now. He's working with the right people. Although James Orengo had gone there due to county issues. You know, he's the governor of Siaya. Janet Wageshi, cause hata yeye ni green pebe kodo. Wageshi. He doesn't like working with greenhorns. Stephen Odhiambo, Moses Kuria is brilliant, but crookish somehow. Somehow, the guy is brilliant, but he tried to use his intelligence in a negative way. That is what I think. So what we are saying is that I strongly believe, you know, when a leader is insecure, when a boss is insecure, he is likely to have a problem working with intelligent people, working with independent people. Because do you think William Samoei Ruto can appoint Martha Karua in his cabinet? Somebody who can tell him, no, I'm not going to do it this way. No, somebody who is principled, like Martha Karua, because we know Martha Karua is very principled. He can't. He can't. He want people like Kikuyu member of parliament. Kikuyu member of parliament, green, loyal, young, such. People who cannot question him. People who just look at him and see a mentor. People who always praise him, worship him. These are the kind of leaders you like working with. And so we are still on this issue of jobs. That the government is ready to take Kenyans to go and work abroad instead ya kutafuta kazi hapa, kuita watu hapa wakuja wekeze katika nchi yetu, and then we invest in our country and our country grows. But from where I sit, William Samoei Ruto is not even addressing the issue of the three enemies that were declared by our forefathers: diseases, ignorance, and illiteracy. He is not even addressing those issues. He is not addressing those issues. Yeah, for those of you wondering why the dogs are barking, it is at night, you know. They're just meant to guard the compound. And they keep me company. So what are we saying here? That if we said Kenyans to go and work abroad, are we doing the right thing? Are we admitting that as Kenyans, are we admitting that the government has completely failed? Serikali imeshindwa kuleta mabadiliko ambayo yanahitajika katika nchi hii ili Wakenya wapate kazi. He also said something very funny about these jobs, that those people who will be going to work abroad, at kwanza watakuwa naenda NYS, watakuwa naenda National Youth Service for training. What does this mean? He also said that when it comes to the recruitment in the KDF, that is armed forces, all armed forces, 80% of the people who will be employed in our security, forests, wildlife, KDF, AP, Reserve Administration, police and policemen, kila mahali, 80% will come from NYS. And I was left asking a question. So it means this NYS will be outstretched, if you ask me. Because kama unajua, the probability of being recruited in KDF when you have gone through NYS is very high. Then it means kila mtu atakuwa anaelekea pale. Aren't we going to overstretch the NYS? Aren't we? Do we have the facility to accommodate everybody? Again, even those who be going abroad, because he's telling us ati watakuwa kwanza wakienda pale for training. Do we have enough facilities there? Do we? Kwa sababu kulingana na vile ambavyo anatuambia ni lazima wapitie pale for you to qualify to go to Germany. I don't know the other countries because he just mentioned 2 countries, that is Saudi Arabia and Germany, and 8 others. I don't know which are the 8 other countries. I don't know. And I also don't know why it has taken too long to take the 200 people, 200,000, yeah. He said that Germany needs 200,000 Kenyans to go and work there. That number is huge, if you ask me. Brad Freden, if he was as great as he claims, he won't be in Ruto's government. Yes, So what we are saying here is that William Samoei Ruto seems to have given up. Kwa sababu, when I saw something else, when I saw the people of Nyeri, demonstrating because of the roads, I think you saw it, because there was a viral video that was sort of, it was even there as a news item in the ministry media, because of that road that connects Engineer in Nyandarua and Muiga in Nyeri. The road was abandoned by William Samoei Ruto. So when you see the Kikuyus demonstrating, what comes to your mind? Because of late, by the way, we have seen Kikuyus demonstrating, especially because of roads. Kikuyus, of all people, demonstrating because of roads. And you remember what they told Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta? Maybe you can write in the comment section for those of you who remember what Kikuyus told Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta mambo ya barabara. Najua wakajengewa barabara nyingi kila mahali. Alafu ukamwambia sasa huku hata ukiendelea kujenga barabara, hatukaagi barabara, hatukuli barabara, hizo ni zako. Today, the Kikuyus are demonstrating. Mau Road abandoned. Hiyo barabara kutoka Muiga kuja Nyandarua abandoned. Na kuna barabara nyingine ambayo ilikuwa connecting Thika and Nakuru Nairobi highway, yenye inatokea mahali panaitwa flyover, abandoned. So I think this one should ring a bell to anybody that things are not very good. Mambo si mazuri, mambo si mazuri, kwa sababu when you see the Kikuyus demonstrating and they're the one who put this government into office, because without the Kikuyus, Ruto could not have been the president. So when you see now William Samoei Ruto telling Kenyans that wanapelekwa kazi katika mataifa ya ughaibuni, then this one tells you that the government is despairing. Jasigoti, hi Skyman, mambo ikoaje bro? Mambo mazuri, karibu sana, like the video. So guys, do you see that William Samoei Ruto and Kenya Kwanza has despaired? Wameinua mikono kabisa, wameinua mikono. If you ask me, wameinua mikono. Because, do you think Kibaki could have done that? Of course not. Even Uhuru never did that. Maybe the nurses have been going. The nurses have been going. Feristas at Kede, hi Skyman, karibu. Thank you for joining us. Like the video. So, when you look at Kenya Kwanza ni kama imeshindwa kabisa. Ni kama imeshindwa majukumu yake kabisa. Ndio sababu they are now, instead of creating jobs, instead of training people who will create jobs, what they are doing is to have our young men to go and work in foreign countries. Janet is saying, why demonstrate for roads now? Have they suddenly developed an appetite for rami? Wakule matope yao. Wageshi, wakimeza, wakitema ni shauri yao. That nice song, I remember that nice song. Aya, Queen Were, the first Tugege, need, no, what is this? Tugege twa central to the maandamano. But they need a coach to teach them how to aim a stone. Wapi kibi as idea on aiming. Africa is not a dark continent. It is not our leaders. I think my comment up there is very important for this country. Thank you very much. Thank you for that important observation. So when you look at Kenya Kwanza, it look like they are despairing. Because I'm saying, during Kibaki's time, we did not witness the President Kibaki, na Mungu ilaze roho yake mahali pema peponi, akijaribu kutuma watu pale. But now what we are seeing a very different scenario. Despair. So when do you think like now, a country like America or Germany or Saudi Arabia, unafikiri Mwarabu wanaweza kutuma watu hapa Kenya wakuja fanya kazi? Because for them, they create jobs. So what the government should do is to ensure even our universities, people are being trained to create jobs. People are being trained to create jobs. Sio kwenda kutafuta kazi kule nje. Why should you train a doctor? Look like by the way, we have so many doctors who are not employed. Unajua wengi wetu huwa tunafikiria kwamba ati madaktari wanasoma, wanamaliza sijui nini, wanaajiriwa papo hapo. It is not the case. This country, wale watu ambao wako nje wamesomea. Hata hapa najua kuna watu kuna degree wengi. Queen Were, this first family, this first finally, we are in despair, and that is good for Kenya. Now is the time. Yeah, Kenya, watu wamepoteza nini? Wamepoteza matumaini. We have despaired. Wakenya wametamauka kabisa. Kabisa. So, ndio nakasema ukiona, when you see a toad, I've always repeated this thing, when you see a toad landing in the daytime, knows something is after its life. So you have seen Kikuyus now coming to demonstrate something that was not very common. Gadhi Wakarano, Ruto is lost course. He bites more than he can chew in running the country. It is true. An old man was telling me that Ruto is like somebody who was riding a bicycle and then he was given ile lori ya miguu 24. aendeshe Mombasa Road and hakuwa na tajriba, he couldn't be able to do it. Manduku Mana, Gachie Skyman, what is the possibility that RUTO is being used to devalue Kenya asset for takeover by Western corporations? The probability is very, very high. In fact, this country, well, if you ask me, is being managed by World Bank, IMF, and USA and Britain. That is a fact. And hii mambo ya carbon, naona hii mambo ya carbon credit. So unasikia hii mambo ya msitu wa Mau. Msitu wa Mau sijui unapewa nani? Somebody is pocketing money. Somebody is going to pocket money because you see, ule msitu wa Mau, na nimeona Wamasai wakilalamika mahali, unapewa an investor, and somebody is going to pocket a lot of money. You know now what is happening is this issue of carbon credit, where rich nation are compensating the poor nation, kwa sababu wale ndio ambao wanaharibu mazingira sana. Kwa mfano like now when the airplane ikitoka hapa ikienda kwa mfano ikipitia mahali fulani, they are able to tell the amount of carbon that is going to emit, and you see this one hiyo sasa ndio wanalipwa. So there's a lot of money that will be coming our way, and unless Kenyans know what is happening, kuna watu ambao watakuwa nafaidika sana, because the rich nation will be paying the poor nations, lakini wananchi wengi watakuwa wanafanya, hawatakuwa najua kile ambacho kinaendelea, hawatakuwa. Queen Were the first Maduku, that is another angel to look at it. So what we are saying here is that when you look at the country, what the president is telling us in another way, that we are unable to do anything else. Tumeshindwa kabisa, tumeinua mikono. We cannot be able to create jobs. We cannot train students in the university to be job creators. And instead, we can only train people who will go and look for jobs outside the country. Lakini sio hapa nchini. Sisi tumeshindwa kabisa. That was very, very disheartening, if you ask me. And it was, because you see, William Samoei Ruto also, unajua alikuwa ameenda India. And we were told he had gone to look for jobs. Lakini sasa amerudi. Hata baada ya kurudi, hakuna kitu. Wajiri wa boy, karibu sana. Why can't this vacate? Why can't this vacate in Uhuru takeover? Oh, the problem with Uhuru is that he is done with his term. I strongly believe that this country has better leaders. Very, very good leaders. Because people like Raila are there. People like Matiang'i are there. They can make good leaders. People like Mukisa Kitui, they can make good leaders. Sivi Kalonzo Musyoka can make good leaders. Maduku, Maina, Queen were the first there. Are countries in South America which are reading from the fact that their assets are owned by Western multinationals. I see Kenya heading that way. What the Western countries are doing, they are actually exploiting Africa. They are coming for our minerals. They are coming for forests. They are coming for everything. Hakuna kitu kinabaki. They are coming for everything. And it is also important tujuane sasa wale wako pale. Angalia kama kuna mtu unajua pale, salimia mtu pale. Just say hi to somebody you know. Kwa sababu this is our channel guys. And whatever we are discussing here, most of the things that we discuss here ni mambo yetu. Something else, by the way. Pastor Dorcas lost her FB account. Yes. Today I noted she was complaining that her FB account was deactivated. Why do you think it was deactivated, ladies and gentlemen? And who deactivated it? Because according to me, Wajiri boy, I'm really tired with Ruto. He is auctioning everything. Everything. By the way, hata wanyama wanaenda. Sinisikia ni cheetah ama ni tiger, wanaenda sijui India, sijui where, miti ndio hiyo imeenda kila kitu. So why do you think Pastor Dorcas' account was deactivated? Because I was trying to connect what she was saying the day before yesterday, because she was talking about LGBTQ, and she was saying Africa has no room for that one, and I agree with her. And she went ahead and said it is better for Africa to miss the trade deals. Afadhali wakose the trade deals that are being given by, like now they are Goa, by the Western nations, kuliko wakubali hili jambo. Na kuamka asubuhi anapata her account deactivated. So what do you think other than that one, what else do you think could have motivated FB to deactivate her account, considering Pastor Dorcas is the wife of Rigathi Gachagua? Rigathi Gachagua is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Because if you ask me, other than that one, Stephen is saying wale taiga wawili wa Gachagua alisema akiwa kwa Ruby wako happy by the hajawahi kuona huku Kenya, sio kama mwahi kuona. And remember William Samoei Ruto promised I think the same in India when he met the Prime Minister, and he came empty-handed. Anauzia India, Stephen Odhiambo anauzia India. And when you look at this country, by the way, where are we heading to? And what is the solution? Where are we heading to? Because you see, we have been asking this question. Tumekuwa tukiangalia, tukaona, ukitazama vizuri sana, utaona Kenya Kwanza in office now for almost 2 years, by the way. Almost 2 years, but no much. Hakuna mambo ambayo tunaweza kusema yamefanyika. Hakuna. From all angles, things are worse. Things are worse. And now, we are headed to date 14. Hima by April. And for those of you who follows the prices of fuel, it is now trading at $69 per barrel. It is a huge drop. So it is expected that the fuel in Kenya should drop by 60 bob. Do you think EPRA and William Samoei Ruto in this case is going to lower petrol with the 60 bob? And by the way, I want you to look at this. At a time like this in 2022, petrol was retailing at 159, and the price per barrel was 191. Now, for the second month now, miezi mitano ikifuatana bei imekuwa ikishuka, but this time round imeshuka sana mpaka watu wakashtuka. In fact, I'm yet to find out what is happening. Jacob, will UDA win 2027? I feel regardless, Ruto will win by rigging and Kenyans will do nothing. Jacob, I think, if you look at what is happening on the ground, it will be very hard for William Samoei Ruto to win 2027. Because when you look at it, even after rigging in 2022, he was only, they only managed about 200,000 votes. That was a small number, 200,000. And you see, that time, he had huge following in Mount Kenya. We cannot deny that fact. He had huge following. Sasa, unajua, pale mambo yamefika, it will be very, very difficult for him to rig. It will be very difficult. Minor at Gachie Skyman. I wouldn't highlight that story with Pastor Dorcas. This could be a smoke screen tuendia Kenya Kwanza because of a diminishing support even within their support base in the church. It is true. What you are saying is true. That we cannot deny the fact that, and that one now, you can see Jacob, if you read that comment by Maduku Maina, you see, it will be very difficult for William Samoei Ruto to win the 2027 election. In fact, it will be one term. That one should be, in fact, that one should be guaranteed. And I think there's only one thing that can make William Samoei Ruto win the presidency. Only one thing. What do you think? What is this that can make William Samoei Ruto win the presidency? If you ask me, the only thing that can make William Samoei Ruto win the presidency is only one. And this is the case. If Kenya is under attack, like now, just like the Palestinians attacked Israel, if one of our neighboring country attack Kenya, then William Samoei Ruto will be elected with a landslide. Because you see, during that time, watu wataona they need somebody who is now experienced, who knows what people don't like changes during that time. In fact, even the election, as per the constitution, the election can be postponed. So if the country is at war with a neighboring country or another country, that is the only thing that can make William Samoei Ruto win the elections. But as things stand now, it is very, very difficult. Extremely difficult. It is not possible. So turudi pale kwa mafuta. So mafuta, bei ya petroli inatarajiwa kushuka kwa shilingi 60. I was doing some calculations. Na unajua vile watafanya? Haya mafuta watapunguza kwa shilingi 10. And then they start lying to Kenyans that wameshusha mafuta, bei ya mafuta, na sio ambao watakuwa wameshusha. Bei ya mafuta itashuka because in the international market, the price has come down. Last month, it was 96. Now, it is 69. That is a drop of about 60-70%. No, it's a drop of about 30-40%, something like that. So William Samoei Ruto has no reason to allow EPRA to increase the price or to retain the price or to lower the price of petrol with anything less than 50 bob. Sasa, if Uganda, they are buying petrol at lower prices, and unajua mafuta yao inapitia Kenya, ikawa ni kama hawakuelewana, Steven is still saying, Ruto can only win if he reappoints Chebukati as IBC chairman for 2027. Hata akileta Chebukati. I think Kenyans are wiser now. Kenyans are wiser. And I don't think Azimio will accept or will allow votes to be stolen again. That idea of agents that happened, what happened in Mount Kenya? Because rigging was done in Mount Kenya. In fact, elections was stolen in Mount Kenya. If Azimio will manage to stop the repeat of what happened in Mount Kenya, no rigging will ever take place in this country. No rigging will ever take place in this country. And if the government, kama naweza fikiri wanaweza iba ushahidi wa nini, I think people can refuse. Pale watu wamefika sasa, watu wanaweza kataa, if you ask me, kulingana vile ambavyo mambo yanaendelea. So mafuta, bei ya mafuta lazima ishuke kwa at least 50 bob. Kwa sababu kusema kweli, inafaa kuteremka kwa 60 bob, but 50 bob tunaweza kubali. Josh Bukwa hata akileta Recho hata akileta nani, hata akileta Gachagua, hata akisimamia yeye mwenyewe, because you see kuna mambo ambayo hayawezekani pale Kenya. Tumefika, unajua, the only good thing with Kenyans is that Kenyans are very patient, Kenyans are very peaceful, Kenyans love their country. I tell you, if it is another country, hii nchi kungekuwa na matatizo mengi sana. Like, but what I know, Kenyans are very, very peaceful. So let's see on date 14 and wait to see if the government is going to lower the cost of living. Guys, for those of you who have never subscribed to this channel, you can take that 1 second, subscribe to this channel if you have never. Here we discuss politics, we discuss the issues concerning our country, we discuss economic affairs, social affairs, and we interact here. Sometimes we are live, sometimes we upload videos, and we are happy. We are very, very happy the way you have continued to interact, the way you have continued to interact on one. We don't take it for granted, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, allow me to end this show. Have a lovely night. I'm glad that you have always been with me. I'm glad you have liked this video. Angalia mwenzako hapo, msalimie, mjuane. Janet, salimia watu. Unajua Janet, una watu wanakujua sana. And Odhiambo, salimia watu. Mike Jones, leo sijakuona. Joshi, asante sana. Even those that have not mentioned, kindly have a blessed and a peaceful night. And let's keep safe wherever we are. Till next time, adios, guys.